beginning. It's your turn.
Welcome to MCs and MVPs. Today we talking about the Vikings.
Don't just let him treat you like that.
Aramis. Who they draft?
Don't just let him treat you like that, Aramis.
Eating just normal Fritos over there?
No, they did chili cheese.
Okay.
They had chili cheese burgers.
Call the police.
If you dip in something in the normal, if you're dipping the normal ones into something, it's fine.
Yeah, but I was just raw dogging normal fucking Fritos.
It's like your raw dog life.
Yeah, they drafted J.A. McCarthy and they drafted Dallas Turner. They drafted Kyrie Jackson and Walter Rouse, Will Richard, Michael Jurgens, Levi Drake Rodriguez. This is what they drafted.
All right, people they got rid of: Kirk Cousins, Joshua Dobbs, Alexander Mattinson, KJ Osborne, Austin Schlottman, Marcus Davenport, Danielle Hunter, DJ Wanham, Sheldon Day, Dean Lowry, Kyrus Tonga, Anthony Barr, Troy Dye, Jordan Hicks, and Greg Joseph.
All right, and then who they re-signed? They re-signed cornerback Sam Darnold for. I said quarterback.
You said corner.
Did I?
It's a cornerback.
Oh, quarterback Sam Darnold. 1 year includes 8.75 guaranteed with a max of $10 million. Running back Aaron Jones, 1 year, $7 million deal. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million contract extension that includes 110 guaranteed. Wide receiver Brandon Powell re-signed 1 year deal, $2 million deal with 2.75 for a max if he does all of his stipulations. Wide receiver Trent Sherfield, tight end Johnny Munden, tight end Robert Tonia, offensive tackle David Quesenberry, offensive guard Dan Feeney, offensive guard Dalton Reisner, edge Jonathan Greenard signed for 4 years, $76 million. Edge Aaron Van Ginkel signed 2-year deal. Edge Jihad Ward signed with the Vikings. Doesn't say for how long or anything like that. Defensive tackle Jerry Tillery. Is that right? Tillery?
Yeah, Tillery.
That's all right, yeah. 1 year, $3.75 million. Defensive lineman Jonathan Bullard. Am I boring you over there, motherfucker? Defensive line Jonah Williams. Linebacker Blake Cashman signed 3-year, $25 million deal. Linebacker Kuma Geiger Hill. Cornerback Shaquille Griffin. And their kicker John Parker Romo. John Parker Romo signed. So that's everyone who they got were re-signed. So Brody, how you feeling about these Vikings?
I see a lot of lineman movement.
And every time you see that, what do you say?
Questionable.
Every time.
It's the forefront of your defense, it's the forefront of your offense. And when it's a lot of movement, because
So do you just ever usually indicate that they're probably trying to rebuild something?
I wouldn't, well, they're always trying to rebuild something when you got multiple people on one section leaving. But it's not necessarily like a complete rebuild. A lot of people feel like you can find like 1 or 2 people to fix an O-line or to fix a line.
Right.
But when you see 3 edge rushers leave, then they got 3 whole new ones.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to figure out what does your rushing attack look like completely.
Well, I think they re-signed 2 people.
I know they got rid of 3 edge rushers. And they signed 3 more. So they signed 3 different edge rushers. They got rid of.
Jonathan Greer signed a 4-year deal. I think you're pretty sure he was already with them.
It's signed, not re-signed.
Yeah, you're right. These all say signed. They don't say re-signed. So you're right. And defensive tackle, defensive line, linebacker. Those are all people. Those are all new people.
So this looks like that defense is getting a complete overhaul.
Yeah, and same thing with all like their They re-signed an offensive tackle and an offensive guard. That's all. That's the only people on really like offense that will tight end. But you know what I mean? Like it's not a lot of.
Now, with that being said, a lot of times you don't see these are notable movements. They're not all the movement. So it doesn't mean that they got rid of their whole O-line and got 3 new dudes because the people who were there, like, well, we had a guard who was fine, who's not in a contract year. He's still there, type
Right.
shit. But seeing that much movement immediately makes me fear for what's your O-line going to look like, because you got rid of a bunch of people, you changed that out. The teams that have a bunch of movement on their line throughout the year don't tend to do that great. Like it's not great when you say, oh well, they've had a different O-line setup, starting O-line setup every week of the year. You can't become cohesive that way.
Right.
With that being said, I do like how much movement I've seen on their receiving core. Having enough receivers to see what the fuck Sam Darnold's going to do. I have never been that high on Sam Darnold. I don't think he's been terrible, but I don't think he's done great things to me. So I'm more interested in seeing what their line's going to look like, because both sides of their line is just giant question marks for me.
Yeah. Aramis, you done playing on your phone?
You got 3 more TikToks to watch.
Man, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have not been paying attention to the Vikings. I know it's gonna be when you pay your star on teams. It takes money away from other positions, so you have to be cautious of that, aware of that. But also, they put in stock for Jonathan Bernard, who came up from the Texans, from the Texans. They paid him to hopefully better their defense and get pressure. So it's a lot of movement. Guaranteed.
I gotta agree with both you guys, and like, it's hard to be a cohesive unit when you have all that movement going on at the same time, especially on your lines where you need to be cohesive. Huh? Oh, yeah, it's just a vacuum handle over there. But so when you have that many moving pieces on your offense and your defense, it just seems like that it's going to be a difficult year. I honestly kind of feel bad for the Vikings this year and Justin Jefferson, because, like Brody said, I've never been really high on Sam Darnold. We'll see what he does this year, but in my opinion, I don't even think he's been in the top 10. So
No, he had so much hype coming out of him in college, and he just never lived up to it.
right, and
He also had a terrible coach as Adam Gase.
I was about to say maybe he didn't have the pieces around him to be good. Who knows? He's got the number.
He still
Justin Jefferson, number three receiver in the NFL right now.
but he still hasn't. You can play good and still be, terrible receivers.
We've seen it.
And you can have great receivers and be
A terrible quarterback.
Yes,
Exactly. So I feel like this is Sam. This a lot is riding on Sam. I feel like a lot rides on the quarterback this year for the Vikings.
No, because when you draft the quarterback in the first round, you expect that quarterback to play and take over at some point.
That's true. Yeah. I was saying there's a lot of pressure on him.
It's a lot of pressure to keep his job, because he's going to be in pole position in order to at the beginning of the year, because he's the vet. Other than that, there's no expectations of Sam Darnold. You hope that he can revitalize his career, because he's getting multiple opportunities. But other than that, because you also got a head coach that can call plays and put you in prime position to where you can succeed in this offensive system. But if you can't excel in it, it's more on you than it is on the system or on the coach. Like I said, he's been given multiple opportunities, and he's hasn't looked good. He was in the 49ers last year, and everybody knows 49ers got weapons out the booty. And he's still in the city.
Right. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the Vikings are going to live or die with him.
No, they're not. They're not going to. That's why you drafted a quarterback in the first round. You don't have to live and die with Sam Darnold. You do not. That's why you drafted first round quarterback in the first round. Because if the moment he start effing up these first 4 to 5 games, guess who's going to be right there, ready to get in? The man you drafted in the first round.
Right, but you don't have, like, there's questions on the offensive line and stuff like that. I'm not going to put them out there.
It doesn't matter.
Well, that's not the thing they're going to 100% live and die with him. I do get what he's saying, but like probably not. Because there's a whole lot.
Jefferson was number 1 last year.
There's a whole lot of factors for why you could suck, especially when you're moving around this much. But there's also a whole lot of factors on why you could be great because you've done so much plug and play.
But also, y'all talking about the defense. I wouldn't worry about the defense. Because you want to know who the defensive coordinator? Black guy. He used to be the head coach of Miami Dolphins. All his faces, his picture face. Brian Flores. Brian Flores is the defense coordinator. And Brian Flores is one hell of a coach. He should be a head coach in the NFL. And that man can coach you behind off. And so I'm not worried too much of who they got on the defensive side, because when he came over last year, the defense went from night and day last year. So I don't worry too much about the defense is more concerning about the offense than Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold going to take full advantage of this freaking system for the umpteenth time? Or we ought to see another rookie quarterback take his job?
Because my quote-unquote concerns was mainly aimed at the line, period. Not necessarily the entire defense or the entire offense. It's as much movement as they had on the edge. Who's getting pressure?
But that's why
so that's your question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you got Jonathan Gennard, because like I said, he had a breakout year last year.
Right. But at the same time, we recently just talked about the Lions and how one guy's not going to do it for you.
Well, they also got Ben Deacon, who is a proven vet and they're able to get pressure.
And when you go to somewhere else, life ain't always the same.
It's true. It's very true. But we also got, if you're going to look at the roster.
I don't want to go through their roster.
Well, I'm not looking at the roster right now.
You have fun with that. The fact of the matter is, you have gotten rid of a bunch of your line and brought in a bunch of different people. Going individually and say, hey, this guy's good, that guy's good, that's good. We can do that for every single team.
I ain't doing that for every team.
I'm just saying, you could. You can go.
But you could.
But when you come down to be like, okay, are you playing complementary? Is the difference?
They got people on this line. Jerry Tiller is no slouch. So they got pieces. They do got pieces on the defense line. The offensive line is a whole other story. But definitely on defense, like I said, on defense, I wouldn't worry too much about defense and them getting pressure, because they're going to get pressure. They're going to get pressure. I'll tell you that just based off looking at the defense, with the front seven, the core of the front seven, I don't know, these guys are getting pressure. And they probably don't have to do this that often. Now, I know, to be realistic with you. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Was that like the 14? That was just a giant ass question mark.
It is.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, because we got no idea.
You're right. Because you really don't have no idea what these guys are going to do. Especially when I think the biggest change is like the quarterback. You have, like, going back to what you said, it's the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman. There's someone that's new, and then you have a new quarterback. Or two new quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You really don't know what it's going to look like. But yeah, you got brand names. When people do get paid, you want to make sure, you also want to make sure that those guys do go to their check. Hopefully they do, but we won't until we get them on when we see them on the field. And I'm not talking about preseason. I'm talking about mid-season.
Yeah.
We're talking about week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, and on forward.
Get a couple of losses under your belt, see what you are.
Yeah, let's
Also, Shaq Griffin is injured. Doesn't know when he's going to be back or anything like that. He's got a soft tissue injury in his left leg. So that's a question on their defense.
Let's say he's a quarterback.
Yeah, he is. So that's another question on their defense. And then also cornerback Mock Blackman suffered a torn ACL in the first practice
God damn.
of their training camp. So the Vikings are also have some questions on defense for their, their backfield.
But they have a lot in camp though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying you got two of your cornerbacks are injured. One of them with an ACL tear. Who knows when he's going to be back? And then the other one's got a soft tissue injury now. So, and so they also have injuries on their defense.
But yeah, that's just a part of camp.
Yeah. It's just like you were saying. It's just a lot of questions that need to be answered early.
For real. For real. I think there's only 2 teams who really highly praised by, and that was one was Kansas City.
Well, we also praised the Lions. I think we all think the Lions are going to do good this year. And then we said the same thing about who's that other team that we just did? Damn it.
Well, I think it was on the Kansas City and the Lions and maybe
the only he's talking about the only teams that we really was like had no real notes to be like,
yeah,
this is a question, that's a question.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It was Kansas City. Well, I guess the Lions we questioned a little bit, but
yeah, a little bit.
Kansas City's the only team that we were just like, these guys are going to be good.
they're probably all right.
Yeah, they're probably not going to be too bad.
It's about the league figuring out them, not the other way around.
Not the other way around.
Right.
All right, guys. Till next time.